Good morning, students. So we start with the unit 2 probability. So what is probability? As you know, probability is a chance of occurrence of an event. It is the measure of occurrence of an event, or you can say measure of uncertainty, right? So before we go further, we first understand some terms associated with probability. So first is random experiment. So what is the random experiment? The random experiment is the one in which we are not sure about the outcome, or I can say the experiment in which we cannot predict the outcome of an event in advance. Okay, so that experiment is called random. For example, toss of coin. So if I toss the coin, we have two possible outcomes, head and tail, but we can't predict in advance. Head will surely come. Okay. If you toss the coin 10 times, 100 times, 1000 times, even if you can't say now this time surely head will be going to occur. Okay. So that experiment is called random experiment. We have two type of experiments. Other one is deterministic experiment. The experiments which you do in your physics lab, chemistry labs, है ना? That are deterministic experiment because in which you know the outcome. For example, if you perform the experiment for acceleration due to gravity, it surely will come out to be nearby 9.8, right? So that is deterministic one. Now next term associated with it is sample space. So what is sample space? Sample space is the collection of all possible outcomes of a random experiment. So in the probability, what we do basically, first we make the list of all the possible outcomes associated with the experiment. For example, if I have experiment of tossing the coin, okay, tossing of coin, then possible outcomes are head and tail. Okay, so I can list them and I put it in the curly bracket. See, this is this set notation. Okay, if you are from the mathematics background, so you know what is the set notation. In the set notation, we list the elements in the curly bracket form. Okay, so another example is toss of two coins. If I toss two coins simultaneously or toss a coin two times, that is one of the same thing, then the possible outcomes are head, tail, tail, head, tail, tail, right? If a dice is tossed, then sample space will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? But if a dice is rolled two times, then you have possible how many outcomes? You have 6 cross 6. That means 36 outcomes are there, right? So in this case, you can have one on the one die and one on second die. See, if this is the first die outcomes and this is second die, then you have the possible 36 outcomes, right? Now next is event. What is event? So event is basically the outcome in which you are interested, or I can say it is the subset of sample space. क्यों? क्योंकि जो भी आपका आउटकम आना वो सैंपल स्पेस में से ही है ना. मैंने सैंपल स्पेस में क्या किया, सारे आउटकम्स को लिस्ट कर दिया, तो जो भी आपका आउटकम्स है वो सैंपल स्पेस से ही निकल के आएगा. तो दैट्स वाई जो इवेंट क्या है वो इट इज द सबसेट ऑफ सैंपल स्पेस. इट कैन कंटेन अ सिंगल एलिमेंट और मोर. For example, if a coin is tossed, the event of getting head. Okay, if I'm interested only getting head, then it can be denoted by E1 curly bracket head. Since it contain only a single element, it is also called simple event. So simple, what is simple event? Simple event is the one in which there is only single element or the single outcome from the sample space, right? So if I toss the dice and event of getting even number I am interested, then possible outcomes are 2, 4, 6. So in this case, I have 3 outcomes in second event. Since it contains more than one outcome, so it is called compound event. So what is compound event then? The event which contain more than one element is called compound event. So next we discuss type of events. Simple event, I have already discussed, that has only one sample point, and compound event that has 2 or more than 2 sample points. Now next definition is sure event. What is sure event? An event is called sure if we are 100% sure that will definitely come. Okay, so that means the probability of occurrence of the event will be 1, or I can say 100% chances of occurrence of the event. Then it is called sure event. For example, in throw of a dice, the probability of getting a digit less than 7. So all are less than 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have sample space 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and event also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That means, so what is the probability? How we can define probability? Number of favorable outcomes divided by number of possible outcomes, right? Number of favorable and number of possible. So it is E over S. So 6 by 6, that is 1. Okay. So I can say if your event, the outcomes of your event is same as sample space, then probability of that event is 100% and that event is called sure event. Now next is impossible event. What is the impossible event? The probability, if the probability of occurrence of event is 0, that means that the event can't occur. Okay, that event is called impossible event. So an event which cannot occur or probability of occurrence of the event is 0, that event is called impossible event. For example, in throw of a dice, probability of occurrence of digit 8, because there is no digit 8, right? So the probability is 0. Now next definition is equally likely outcomes. What are equally likely outcomes? The 2 or more events are said to be equally likely if the probability of occurrence is same for them. That means if all the events have the same probability of occurrence. For example, occurrence of head and tail in toss of coin, both have 50-50% chances. Probability of birth of male and female child, both have 50-50% chances. Occurrence of even or odd digit in throw of a dice, like if I have even as event of odd digit, so then possible outcomes are 1, 3, 5, and E2 as occurrence of even digits, then possible outcomes are 2, 4, 6. So both have the same chances of occurrence. So probability of E1 is equal to probability of E2 equal to 1 by 2, right? So in this lecture, I have discussed the basic definition related to probability. So in the next video, I'll discuss the more definitions, more the terms related to it. Thank you.